Mike the Hobbit here.
Lowdown Brown.
Inviting you to check out Geeks Under the Influence, a podcast that pairs booze with conversation with good friends.
And a little nerd culture.
We get a lot of colorful conversation out of our episodes, but it is here for everyone. No gatekeeping.
Always level up everything we do.
We'll punch up, never punch down.
Exactly.
So check out Geeks Under the Influence anywhere you get your podcasts and join us or die.
Shut the fuck up, Hobbit. Welcome to GUI Nights.
GUI Nights.
Yeah, I am Lowdown Brown. With me as always,
Mike the Hobbit.
this is the tangential side of GUI.
This is like so many of those other shows that has the after the show bit mixed with a little bit of Baywatch night, so it's a little sexier. It's a little bit after hours.
Also while tying it into the previous episode of GUI. So look forward to that too, because this comes out the week after the flagship hour-long episode.
So make sure to check out GUI Nights, and when you're done, you can
Go the fuck home.
The views and opinions expressed on Beautiful Disasters are those of the panelists and not those of the Geeks Under the Influence Network, their sponsors, or anyone else involved. Also, there is going to be a lot of adult language used on this podcast, so please keep your little kitties away unless you don't care about them that much.
Welcome back to Beautiful Disasters, Schlock Abuse Edition.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, man. So, for a good period of time now, it's just been me inflicting Grutz with some shit-ass movies, and I'm comforted to know now that there's somebody else that I can throw these shit movies at, and the person I'm throwing this shit movie at is...
Hello, my darlings. It's Murphy.
Yes. And so Murphy's very excited to be part of the Beautiful Disasters crew, and
I am, torture and all.
and now I think they might have to pay that back with getting these shit-ass movies, so...
It's okay. Every time I find something I love, it tortures me.
Yes,
so,
yes.
You know, it's only fitting.
So I looked over a lot of stuff. Man, there was like 5 different things. I was like, this would be perfect for Murphy. And I had to kind of just flip a coin, and I was like, I want to give you one that has a star. A star in it. So you can go, oh,
Yeah.
I recognize this person.
Uh-huh, yeah.
So, this goes back to the early days of Schlock Abuse, where one of Grutz's first Schlock Abuse was God's Not Dead 2.
Oh, God.
In which one of his favorite actors, Ray Wise, was in that movie. Me knowing that, that's why I made him watch such a shitty movie, because it had one of his favorite actors.
Because you like to hurt people.
I did not do this to you. I just picked someone that
I would
you would know. Yes.
Yeah.
So I was nicer to you than I did when I did that to Grutz back in the day.
Thank you for not giving me a Christian movie. Grutz gave me porn,
Yeah.
but, you know, at least it
That's
wasn't a
like,
Christian
I feel
movie.
like the complete opposite of a Christian movie.
Yeah, no, it's it was pretty close because it was, you know, porn based on Amityville Horror, but
Yeah.
that's oof. But it wasn't quite this. I did watch this all the way through as well.
Wow.
Yes, no,
You're better than us at the beginning, because I'll be honest, I think my first 3 or 4 Schlock Abuse, I was like, all right, I have made it an hour in, cut, I have enough to say. So, way to go. Did you make it all the way through?
both of them, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I won't say how much I watched out of spite. This one, I will say, so, go ahead and tell y'all the name of the movie. The movie that Hunter gifted to me was called Bus Party to Hell, directed by Rolf Kanefsky, and it's from 2017.
Yeah, so it's pretty modern. I mean, I didn't give you some shitty 80s Schlock Abuse.
No, it's true.
This has
true.
been in the last few years.
To be fair,
5 years, I guess.
Grutz's was pretty modern too. I want to say it was
Wow, all
shot
right.
in like 2020 or 2021, but
It's kind of hard to tell because of the grittiness and how cheaply made it was.
I mean, there's 20 minutes of
See,
people
this
doing
one, I
mushrooms in
think
the-
they
in the
had
woods.
craft services. At least this movie, I'm pretty sure they had like a crew and craft
So-
services and things of that
I don't
sort.
know. And like with this movie, I'm pretty sure at least a good chunk of what happened is that they found a bunch of friends willing to help out, paid enough money to have a recognizable star, told her she wouldn't have to do that much, and then rented a party bus, literally a party bus, and then like one other vehicle.
I was about to be pissed if you told me there was 0 party buses and
no, there is a party bus.
Okay,
there is
good,
in fact
good.
a party bus in the Bus Party to Hell.
I was a little worried for a second. That was going to be the biggest shocker. That was the twist of the whole movie. Is
no party bus.
0 party buses and party bus.
Oh no, don't worry. There was party bus. There was gratuitous party bus.
Oh,
in fact,
man.
Pretty much the entire movie takes place in or around the party bus.
See, so that title was very accurate. Good,
yeah.
good.
Yeah. I mean, we're in hell when we watch it. I would say, so we'll sum that up at the end, but I got to see our recognizable star, which was Tara Reid, right off the bat.
The Tara Reid.
The Tara Reid.
From American Pie and Sharknado.
And from Scrubs.
And Scrubs.
Yeah.
See, I actually like Scrubs.
I love Scrubs.
And I know. And so I feel weird because, she was also in Scrubs.
She did a great job in Scrubs. That's why I like to mention it. This one, I feel like they were like, hey, Tara, here's a fairly easy part. And, as long as you don't mind getting covered in blood and being weird.
You feel like they had a crate of alcohol. They're like, you get all of this if you just show up on the set for one day.
You can smoke on set because we're in the desert.
All right.
So it starts right in, no credits. It just starts in with Tara Reid and some random dude in a fucking top hat running across the desert. And they're running away from something. Like, they're going to get us. And then, lets in pretty quickly with her being like, you're one of them. She stabs him, cuts his head off, and then his severed head says, big mistake, bitch. Cut her tits off. Let's see, I don't even remember.
Man, that movie just starts going. It's just like Tara Reid, fucking head chopping. Yeah. All right, here we go. And now, do we get a flashback to 24 hours earlier?
No.
Or is it literally, we're just started up. There is no we're going to go back and explain anything.
No, it's, I kept waiting for that.
Yeah.
So, then it goes to another scene where this girl is, getting out of a car in the middle of what appears to be Vegas. I don't know. Tall buildings, desert, that's my guess.
Yeah.
Unnamed city.
Maybe Flagstaff, Arizona.
I don't know, man. It's, she's like, I'm not that kind of girl. And then he says something transphobic. And then she gets out of his car. And then immediately is like, where does this bus go? And they're like, we're going to Burning Man. And she's like, how much? And the lady goes, for you today, free. We don't believe in payment at Burning Man. Which doesn't sound like a, fucking trap at all. And so she's like, all right. So she just gets on the bus.
So sounds good to me. No luggage or things or just herself.
Yeah, and then the next scene is that chick, topless and stoned and topless.
All right, sounds good. All right,
and then a bunch of, our random cast of people.
So this is where we get introduced to kind of the supporting cast.
Introduced is a strong word. Yeah. We
just
get introduced.
The douchebags.
We get an overview of our stereotypes: the nerd, the slut, the lesbian.
What?
The douchebag.
I never thought
that sort of thing.
Those type of people would be in this movie. Wow, a nerd and a douchebag and
I know. And then we get a delightful moment where one of the other characters is rubbing her nipple and she's like, what is it? A smudge? And she goes, no, just a nipple. A beautiful, perfect nipple. And then something else happens and there is a comment as, there's no such thing as gratuitous female nudity. Sure, man. Okay.
So she just for no reason is like, I feel like touching myself.
No, that's another chick is touching her.
It's just just want to touch your nipple.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think that we were hoping that would lead to something at that time, and then distractions happened.
But this is not Amityville vibrator.
No, but there is nipple touching. We didn't get penetration within the first 5 minutes of the film. So now we flash back to Tara Reid, who I later, I think through the credits, learned was named Darby.
Her name doesn't really matter.
So she's running through the desert going, help, please, they're trying to kill me. And there's just some dude in the desert trying to take photos of this half-naked chick, like you do. And the chick starts to pay attention to her, and she runs up and she's just like, they know your deepest, darkest fears and they can make them come true. And the girl goes, my deepest, darkest fears? You mean like mummies? She's like, yes, exactly like mummies. And then mummies appear.
Oh my God.
And then the girl who is afraid of mummies gets her shirt ripped off and then suffocated. And the dude who is taking the photos goes, "Cool, topless," and keeps taking photos.
Wait, while she's
being suffocated with the plastic bag by mummies.
So he doesn't recognize maybe he's that eager to see tits.
Yeah.
And he's like, I should help, but I see the boobies, and I'm just going to take photos and giggle.
Yeah, pretty much. He was just like, oh, cool, sweet.
I don't think he's going to be the hero of this movie.
No, he dies.
Okay, good.
He dies immediately after that.
All right, good.
Like, is actively murdered while taking photos. I think
Which
by his own tripod.
Kind of deserves. I mean,
he definitely deserved.
He could have done something, but he decided to stare at the boobies, and he deserves to die.
There's maybe, like, one character in this movie where you're like, meh, I guess they could live.
Yeah.
But then Tara Reid goes, I fucking hate mummies, and picks up a sword and starts, like, hacking them to death.
Wait, where did she get the sword?
I do not know. I think one of the mummies had it, if I'm being honest. Yeah, because why wouldn't a mummy have a sword?
God, whoa. You didn't say anything about sword welding, like having those mummies with swords.
They weren't that impressive.
I know, but now you're telling me they have swords. They could have potentially hit you with a sword, and they're a mummy. That's even scary. No. It was still dudes. Almost like the prop guy was like, "Yeah, I got the sword from another movie. Do you want it?"
It's sort of how we got the Deveronians, where they were like, "Man, we're out of aliens, but we got this devil costume."
Yeah, there you go. So she's now pretty much the bride, and she's chopping up mummies.
Yeah. So then she sees the party bus approaching.
Okay.
And
just the nick of
time. Like, oh, thank God. So she runs up and she's like, help. And the lady who's the bus driver speeds up and hits her. And that is the end of Tara Reid's character.
Really?
Yeah. Hits her with the fucking bus.
How did they get her so much of the trailer? I examined this trailer specifically. You only had her in there for 10 minutes?
I know. It wasn't long at all. And
God
then
damn it. You and Grutz have lucked out with this shit. Oh.
And then the head that, like, said, you're so fucked, reappears for a minute.
But I do appreciate they're like, look, Tara Reid, and hit by the van, or bus.
And then dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Splattered all over this bus.
All right. That sounds actually... I think you got off easy then already. I'm already feeling that. But then you do have to watch the rest of the movie and...
Because then we get, like, people talking about, like, the gifts they bring to, like, trade at Burning Man for stuff.
Oh, man.
And they're talking about, like, what they brought and if they brought drugs or if they brought condoms or whatever. And some guy's like, I brought Viagra. And they're like, oh, that's a pretty good gift. And he's like, that's not the gift. The gift is my dick. So that's
all right. No, you're right. No, it's going back into douchebag.
Yeah, that's the douchebag.
Don't you want to know more about these douchebag characters?
Yeah.
Here's your opportunity, and you're like, no, I don't. Can I see them all fucking die right now?
Any of them? I don't. And then we make a quick pit stop, a la the bus driver, and then she disappears. She just fucks off into the desert. I know.
Wait
shocking. Bus driver that just ran over someone trying to ask for help. Totally evil. Probably.
Just not reliable at all. She's like, I'm gonna go check. Bye bye.
Yeah, this is where you really get a sense of who the characters are, where they go around and, like, you get the panicky, nerdy guy, and you get the douchebag, and then you get all the characters discovering that there's blood on the front of the bus. And then they open the back of the bus, and they discover the dead bus driver.
So they never noticed.
No, because all of the windows of the party bus are covered by curtains, and there's a curtain between them and the bus driver.
Why would I ask that? Party buses have curtains. There's no reason to know the outside world when you're on a party bus.
Well, I think it's so that the black lights look cooler.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So that way you can play on the stripper pole.
is nothing bums you out on a party bus than outside world.
Yeah, no, like seeing reality.
You're right. Those curtains are essential to the prime party bus experience.
That's why I leave my curtains open, so that way both the outside world can get the horrific reality of me, and I can stay grounded in reality. That's why
I put curtains all around my car whenever I want to just kind of feel like I'm having a party.
Yeah. That's fair. You just drive down the highway, music on blast.
Yeah, I pull over and I pull up the velvet curtains around the car, just turn on the little, globe and, have a little party for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Take the curtains down.
That's fair.
Go to my destination.
And, let's see. And then, people are, like, coming out of the bus, and there's, like, hippies laying on the ground and all sorts of shit.
Wait, did you say dead hippies?
No, not dead hippies.
My God.
Not yet, man. Give me a second.
Oh.
And then it's suddenly dark. There is no, like, real passage of time, but suddenly it's nighttime.
Yeah.
And, suddenly, and one of them goes to pee and gets startled by her own sandals. And then, after she gets startled by her own sandals, which they made a point of showing you that, like, she crouched down to pee and that her sandals poked her in the butt, so she squealed and ran, then people in black robes do appear.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know why we had to show the sandals startling her.
Wait, did they move on their own, or she's just stupid?
She's just stupid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was just, like, she crouched down to pee, and her own clothes bothered her, and she got startled.
Yeah. But then...
And then people appear.
Then there's people, she's like, oh my god, you're scarier than my own clothes.
Well, she's already running.
Okay.
She's still running. She hasn't even noticed them yet. But then people do start getting killed. So people get killed with hammers, a bow and arrow, an axe, a sword, and tire spikes.
How did I know that sword was going to come back into it?
This is a different sword, but there's more.
But there's more, yeah.
And so one of them, in traditional, like, spooky kid fashion, says, "Run, little piggies, run," because, nothing like a Manson family reference in the desert.
Is that the main bad guy, or that's just the theme of this?
It's hard to determine who's the main bad guy.
That sounds like one of those, like, oh, run, little piggies. Like, he's the main guy, but...
I feel like there's a couple dudes that tried to, like, portray themselves as, like, they could be in charge.
Struggle. All right.
But, yeah, no, I wrote down, why are these people dressed for a cheap goth rave, and is this shitty Mad Max? And...
It does take place in the desert, it sounds like.
The subtitle at one point said that they were mimicking a bird call, but it was just him, like, meh, meh, meh. And I'm like, what bird is that?
Yeah.
What bird is that? I think I did a better job with that sound.
Is it a dying bird is what he did?
I'm sure.
Hey, did you hear that? Sounds like a dying bird.
And in the bus, they're desert-dwelling nomads. I'm like, in fucking glitter underwear? My dudes.
Yeah.
Like, they're dressed only slightly darker than y'all are dressed.
How far are they from Vegas, by the way?
I do not know. They haven't, like, there is no span of, like, distance or anything like that. And obviously our characters don't know, and I don't really think they cared, because they were like, look, we're renting this bus, we're going to go out in the desert.
They're on a party bus. They have no idea about the outside world to this point.
The plan was for them to get in the party bus and go to Burning Man and not have to give a fuck about anything
between. Yeah.
And then...
Not a compass among them.
Let's see. I don't know what the fuck I wrote there. Something on bus. Panic on bus. That's what it is. And then someone's like, they're dead. And someone's like, dead? And the douchey guy, and one of my favorite lines does say, yeah, it's a side effect of being murdered.
Bam!
I'm like, okay, fair enough. And then all of a sudden, like, there's this burning thing outside, and they say, "Behold, the god of destruction," and it's definitely like a shitty plaster effigy.
Man.
It's like the teeny thing, and they're all like, oh, and I'm like, you guys were gonna go to Burning Man. This is not even a fourth of the scale of the things that were gonna be on fire.
But they had to prepare mentally. They weren't there yet. They weren't pre-Burning Man level, and that's not ready to see shit burning.
Look, this is the beginning of this scene, okay? So then, they're like, when they say, "Behold the god of destruction," then we bring out, like, our pseudo Dusk Till Dawn dancers with, like, a snake and some other shit, and, our, like goth chicks dancing, and, there's a bunch of topless people, which, that part I wasn't mad about. And then they have one of the girls from the bus that ran away that they kidnapped or what have you, and they start, what the fuck did they like, poured blood on her. And one of them says, blood really brings out her nipples. And they start supposedly...
There seems to be a lot of emphasis on nipples. There's a lot of nipples.
Yeah, there's a lot of nipples. And I think that was, like, their hope that the nipple percentage would drive the sales for this film.
Like the people that are like, if you emphasize nipples, I will fucking watch it. I will own it. I will do whatever you want.
We've got Tara Reid, we've got a bunch of nipples, and we've got bloody goth.
So what you're saying is this Kmart grade Tarantino, where Tarantino loves feet. This guy's like, where Tarantino had his feet, I've got the nipple.
Yeah, but I don't think this guy ever had one of his actors or actresses paid to put their nipple in his mouth like Tarantino did to Selma Hayek.
That's true. That's true. Yes. He's still making movies.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Making movies is hard. It looks like they had a great time doing this. They genuinely look like they had a lot of fun, and I want to give them that. It just... is not what I would qualify a good movie. If you have a lot of beers and friends to howl at this could be a decent time.
That makes me
watching
feel
it.
better because I always get a little worried I might assign you an actual good
No.
bad movie. And it's
God,
good when
no.
I know it's a complete piece of shit. So I feel
No, I watched this by myself and sober, and so that was the wrong way to watch
Ooh, yeah. Oh.
it. And they start supposedly feeding their like kidnap victim the snake, and then they cut her open to get their perfectly clean snake back, which totally makes sense. I wrote, I think they told the extras to wear something gothy. They don't mind getting bloody. And then one of them catches on fire and says, "Oh yeah, it is an honor. I am on fire." Yeah.
Attention, everybody! I'm on fire. It's really cool. I want y'all to look at me right now as I burn. It's pretty awesome.
Basically,
now,
yeah.
this is the cult people?
That was the cult people, yeah.
Okay,
And then we go back into the
like,
bus.
the party bus people were like, dude, I'm on so many drugs right now, you could set me on fire, man.
No, I think most of the ones that were like actively stoned got killed in the raid.
Okay.
And then
the
this
hammer...
poor nerdy kid who's just like, I just wanted to have fun and I shouldn't have done this. And then he gets pulled through the roof of the bus and his head is cut off.
All right, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
And then
he probably died a virgin,
they
too.
toss his head off the bus and they take his head and they put it between their boobs.
Aw.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
ironic. If he died virgin, that's the closest he's been to tits, and it's with his head.
And I'm pretty sure that this, and playing with other body parts, prompted the line, "The hills have eyes, ears, nose, and throats."
Ah.
Yeah. And then I found out...
All right, you know what? I was fine up till right then. Now this shit's gotten personal, all right? You don't reference any goddamn good horror movies in this shitty movie.
I think they were just like, we've seen horror movies. Let them know we've seen horror movies.
The hills have eyes, wink, wink. Like, all right,
Yeah.
now I'm with you. I'm on your side there. Usually I have to cheer for it to be shitty and for this, but now this time it's personal.
Well, you also assigned me a movie in which, like, our prime douchebag's name was Alan, which is my partner's name.
Yes.
So that corrects
That's
the fuck
just
up.
accidental, so.
Yeah. Someone... oh, yeah, so they grab the bus driver again. They find her again. And she has this really annoying, like, silent laughter thing that she does.
Is she part of the...
She's part of the cult.
Okay,
and
that's
then
what I kind of thought.
Like, she makes a whole lot of allusions to prophecy and all sorts of shit. And then, like, they decide to strip her to look for the bus keys.
Yeah, they did.
And she gets really stoked about it. And she has a ton of bad paint tattoos, only on, like, the front part of her body.
Wait a second. Very important question. Do we see her...
Nipples.
Nibbles?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good.
And then, at some point, someone says... Oh, she keeps talking and keeps saying shit. And someone says, "You sound like a bad Z-grade movie." So that's another line.
Nah.
Someone slaps her.
That one doesn't affect me. I'm fine with that.
Someone slaps her, and she goes, "God, I'm so fucking wet." And I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm really excited for you, ma'am. And then of course, it turns out that our random girl that got on the bus is their chosen one. Who is...
Is she trying to get away from the cult?
No,
or...
she has no idea.
Oh,
she has no
was
idea.
like their prime.
She just happened to be...
That's the prime, like, this is the chick that's gonna bring
she's
him
a
out.
virgin, and there's a bunch of other shit, but primarily because she's a virgin, blah 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 blah. And she did hook up with our lesbian friend who was very excited, and they both reapplied lip gloss as they came out of the bathroom together.
All right. Yeah.
And then the lesbian was like, even with cunnilingus and Buzz Pop, which apparently is a alcoholic popsicle.
All right.
I mean,
sounds like something that would be on a party
so.
bus. Yes.
So, still a virgin. Yes. We've been watching you since you were born because she was adopted. And there's
So somehow, even though we didn't know it, she's the main character
she's our main
of
character.
this movie
Yeah.
that we just stumbled upon.
And I guess we're supposed to give a shit about her now.
Okay.
She is definitely one of my least favorite characters.
So not a good sign when you're like, oh, she's the person I'm supposed to be cheering for.
Yeah.
Fuck her.
Yeah. No, I'm just like, okay. Well, it's not even fuck her. It's just she's kind of a nothing character.
Yeah. Like you almost want to cheer for Nibbles, the bus driver, more than
No, she was really annoying. Like
Okay,
I wanted her to die.
All right.
But I
between
just
the
kind
two,
of nothing the virgin. You know.
you just want both of them to die. There's no
Yeah.
like, I guess I could side with this person.
No, I was just like, I want this whole thing to end in a bloodbath. Oh yeah, and I found out the bus driver's name is Joan, and then she bites the douchebag who has a gun. Joan gets shot, and then her tattoos come to life. So then there's a
Wait.
lot of strobe light,
What?
and there are shots of sex toys. There's shots of a lizard, there's a snake, a tarantula, and a scorpion that somehow get on people. There's a shot of the tarantula and the virgin's crotch. Like, they're all just kind of like, oh my god, blah, blah, blah,
So that's
while
what
the
she
strobe
had
light is going.
tattooed
Yeah.
on her?
Yeah.
Now,
Her tattoos disappeared and they come to life.
were
but
they
it's-
the same color as what was on her?
No,
or
they
did
were
she-
just like, literally like, the
Look.
stuff that was on here, I'm pretty sure they took a paintbrush and just painted them on her.
Yeah, yeah.
It was not good. Like, man, at least invest in some fucking quality fake tattoos.
I know you got Tara Reid in this movie. It's a
Right.
party bus. Come on, people,
Yeah.
get it together.
And she's like, I never would have even gotten on this bus if she didn't say it was free. Like, okay, but is that a good enough reason to
Yeah.
get on a bus?
Yeah, it's all her fault for enticing me with the price of no dollars.
Yeah. And then so their solution is just like, oh, it's okay, just stop being a virgin. And she's like, so I have to go fuck somebody. And so basically they decide that she has to go have sex with dude who is not a douchebag, because douchebag is currently bleeding to death and was just like, I couldn't get it up right now.
Oh, poor douchebag.
Yeah, so he's just like,
gonna
you have
die.
to do this.
He's gonna die of irony.
Yeah, pretty much. So
I totally fucked her if I wasn't bleeding.
we learn the virgin's name is Laura, and then the other dude's name is Peter, because they introduce themselves to each other before they go have sex in the luggage compartment.
See, that's love.
And then the people outside start chanting, release, 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 which isn't suspicious at all. And they start disrobing and making meowing sounds.
All right.
And I think they're supposed to be having sex.
Like the cult members?
The cult members,
Okay.
yeah, outside, like covered in blood and just like writhing on each other and making a variety of sounds.
Okay.
So yeah, that's happening.
They sound pretty evil.
Yeah, it's totes evil. Super totes evil.
Yeah, we're gonna
with
surround
their-
your bus and then we're gonna
They're
fuck
also
each other.
not really close to the bus. They're also like 20 feet away from the bus.
Really?
Yeah, man. They're in like, and it's like, there's not really a whole lot of menace.
They can still hear us from here.
Yeah. And apparently like this bus is like some crazy reinforced like tank of a bus, so they can't like shoot through it or anything like that. It's
Yeah,
fucking
it's-
ridiculous. The party buses are the safest
it's a
buses.
party
because
bus.
the douchebag researched safe party buses.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised our military hasn't not started getting some party buses to take over to different places.
So they go to have sex in the luggage compartment, and then he finds out that she's almost 18. So he waits 5 minutes to midnight, so she'll actually be 18. And then they have sex.
What the fuck?
Meanwhile, they start trying to figure out the others upstairs in the bus.
Yeah,
because we're still
not
in the bus,
not in the luggage compartment.
not in the luggage compartment, in the rest of the bus. Are like decide that Joan probably is the kind of crazy bitch that would swallow the key to the bus. So the helpful lesbian cuts open Joan to look for the key because she's like,
You gotta
"Fuck
do
this
it.
bitch."
Yeah.
Which the helpful lesbian is one of the only characters that I liked. And so now you get this I guess montage of the sex scenes that are happening with like the blood orgy outside, the couple having sex in the luggage compartment, and the lesbian digging in the stomach of the dead woman.
They try to make
keys.
it like a sexual
No,
thing.
it's just all happening together,
It's just
and
like
then
fucking like he's
Yeah.
in her, he's in her, she's in her.
right,
Yeah.
fists in your
Yeah.
your intestines, totally normal. And now blood is on the couple while there's blood orgy outside because they're underneath where they are, digging open in a body. So there's just blood everywhere.
So they're just fucking and having blood like drip on them from.
It's just everywhere. It's just
everywhere?
a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Like it, and Laura, while they're having sex, starts transforming. So apparently, not becoming not a virgin was the wrong answer.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know.
Dun, dun,
I'm as
dun.
shocked as you are that blood orgy
What
cult
a
wanted her to
twist!
fuck.
Because they knew she was gonna start fucking.
I don't.
And they're
look,
like,
I don't
here
know.
we go. And she's like, yeah, y'all gonna look at this. I'm gonna fuck him, and then you're gonna learn your lesson. They're like, no, don't fuck him. That would totally be bad. And they know that she's
Basically, they're like, as far as like the stupid setups in this film go,
right.
The fact that they made a big deal out of her being a virgin, so they would all be like, "Oh, she just has to not be a virgin," when that was the key.
Yeah. So they use
the
mentality
only thing
of
that
what
really
I.
made sense.
They use the mentality of what I use with my daughter when she won't eat her food.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you should totally not eat that. She's like, I'll show you. I'm gonna eat it. And they're like, you should don't have sex. That could be really bad. She goes, I'm gonna fuck this guy just to teach y'all a lesson.
Well, she doesn't. She's actually really reluctant about it. She's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do this.
Like, but she knows she has to. And
But she doesn't want to die, so
Yeah.
she's like, it's either fuck you or die. So
Yeah.
that's what she thinks is going to happen. So he's like, well, thanks. I'm glad I'm that alternative.
Cool.
And then
At
she
least
like,
they know each other's names.
yeah, at least they know each other's names. And then she starts transforming, and then
I know the special effects had to be amazing.
I mean, it's not the worst part of this movie.
Practical or completely digital?
Practical, actually.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
surprising.
there wasn't a whole lot of digital effects in this movie.
See, that surprised me. I expected a lot of digital. It looked like one of
No.
those they just would throw in the shittiest looking digital effects that they could afford.
No, I think actually, as far as I can remember, that pretty much everything in this was practical.
Yeah.
So I will give them that. But like they had the mummies
There you
in
go.
costume, like the mummy costumes, the demons. They have the people all dressed up. Like there's stuff that like that clearly where the budget went to.
Yeah.
But it wasn't CGI.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shot.
I know. And so while Laura's transforming, they find the key. So I remember the douchebag dies, and it's because someone punches out his heart, but I don't remember who that was, but I have that as a note. I think it was Laura. I think when Laura transformed, I think that's how he died, was that she like punched out his heart.
So what does she look like now that she's transformed?
She looks like a tall, like, ugly demon thing.
Okay.
Like, goat horn. Like, fairly classic looking demon. Like, kind of grayish skin, shaggy hair, horns, big fucking teeth, claws, all that jazz.
Is she still her, or is she now demon her?
She's demon her,
Okay.
so she doesn't look like her.
Right, but
like
is it still her inside with just powers, or is she now a demon?
That comes up later, sort of. So now that all of this I actually wrote decent looking demon thing. I also wrote, because one of the cultists outside has a random praying mantis hat on, and she keeps showing up, and of all the costume choices in this movie, I was like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Yeah.
Do praying mantises live in the desert? Because I didn't think they did.
Yeah, no, I don't think they do.
don't,
And is
like-
there some connection with the cult
No.
with that?
No,
Oh,
they've
great,
got like
praying mantis, show us the way.
yeah, no, I don't know, but it's very clearly like a mantis hat.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, but let's see. And then I asked myself the question, if they knew who the chosen one was and they knew that she was on the bus, then why was Tara Reid and Top Hat Guy running from the cult? Like, why was that a needed setup?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I do not. It just didn't make any sense, because supposedly it was all like a setup where like even the
Predestined.
guy, no, like the whole thing, like somebody drugged her drink and then she
Yeah.
decided to hitchhike with the random dude who was also part of the cult.
Oh.
And then the bus driver.
So it's kind of like a usual suspects. You go back and
Sort
you're
of.
like, everything was set up ahead of
It
time.
was, except it was really unimpressive and boring.
So the director's like patted himself on the back. He's like, see, there
Yeah.
wasn't just random things that happened. It was all planned to make her a demon.
Yeah, and then let's see. Then I've only got like a handful of notes left because I think my brain was running out of power.
So what happened to the dude that made her a demon?
Oh, he's long dead. Like she murdered him like while they were having
really?
sex.
So
Yeah.
she's fucking him. She's like, demon time, rip your dick.
As she like transforms, she's like rah, 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 and
Okay.
starts eating him.
All right, so he's fucked.
And that's why they start driving away, and they think everything is cool until she punches out douchebag's heart. And at some point, one of the other guys who's also like a cowardly dickbag goes and hides in the bathroom while the lesbian and one of the only other helpful characters are trying to figure out what to do and how to get away and all that. And so like he goes and hides in the bathroom and then calls like his now ex-girlfriend who is trying to drive the bus to safety a cunt. And the demon appears and goes, "Nobody appreciates the C word," and murders him. And I was like, what the fuck?
I've been warned, demons hate the word cunt. Yeah, so.
That's my favorite word.
Yeah.
I
Careful.
love saying
Looking
cunt.
around right now. Don't bring out the demon.
I didn't know that demons and my mother had anything in common.
Don't use that word.
And it is the slowest bus ever. Like, this shit crawls.
Yeah.
It's
not about speed. It's about partying. Okay.
Yeah, well, the party is over and it's only blood.
Right. But
there's not even enough
it's
left
well
to have a blood
secured. It has the best partying in it. The only thing it doesn't have is the speed to get away from something. All right.
Yeah. Sure. And then we we have just the lesbian, and they think they've lost the demon chick, and then she's having like a dream, and she's like, someone's going down on her, and she's all into it, and then she it turns out to be the demon going down on her, and she starts like biting, and she's like, ah, and she wakes up.
Tastes like chicken.
Yeah, and then miraculously, like the blood, they are now no longer covered in blood.
Right.
Even though they were completely covered in blood from fisting a corpse to get a key. So both of we only have two female survivors, the lesbian and single boho chick. I don't know. I can't remember their fucking names. And the bus runs out of gas, and then there's another like vehicle that somehow shows up in the middle of this desert. Turns out to be a fake rescue. It's still the cult.
Fooled you.
Oh, the girls their names are Ivy and Reese.
Okay.
I think Ivy is the lesbian, and I think Reese is the other one. And they're just like fed up with this shit with the cult, and them being like, we're still evil, and they're like, fuck you, and they have guns and scissors, and so they like just straight up start like stabbing these dudes, and I'm like, you know what, good for you two.
There you go.
Good for you two. This is why you're the only two that I like. And then Laura, they come across her after they hijack the van and like push these corpses into the desert.
Yeah.
And they come across our demon chick, Laura, who is now on the side of the road wearing some random person's clothes because she was completely naked.
All right.
After she transformed. So she's wearing random femme clothes. And she's like, come on, guys. I just woke up in the desert. Pick me up. I'm totally not a demon. Do you remember? Like, that sort of shit. And that, like, they're like, okay, I guess we can't leave her. And after, like, a long debate where, like, the Reese, the boho chick, is like, all right, whatever. And like, no one seems to really trust Laura. No one is stoked to pick her up.
We don't believe,
but they don't feel like
thing.
Yeah, and like something happens where like Laura obviously has like demon powers, and she's like semi-aware.
Wink,
and then
wink.
someone goes, and then one of them goes, so who's up for Burning Man? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. And then like hell is opening behind the van as they're driving to Burning Man. And that's the end of the movie. No, that is the only CGI bit, is the hell opening up. But that's fair.
Yeah, no, if it's literally the end of the movie, I was expecting most of this movie to have digital effects, so I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, no, I was surprised that we had so many practical effects and that the demon was
surprised you made it through that whole goddamn movie.
I was determined.
You went to the fucking end. Holy shit. No, there's been a few I definitely walked. I was like, nope, I'll just tell you what I remember, and that's it.
I'm not going to say that that's never going to come a day, but my first two Schlock abuses, I was like, I'm finishing these motherfuckers out of spite.
Yeah. And who knows, you might have a Schlock abuse you actually like. It's happened one time.
That's true. Grutz gave you one that you liked, right?
Return to Sleepaway Camp.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Didn't you also give Grutz one that was like a half hour long?
Yes, it had Corey Feldman on the cover. I was like, oh, this looks fucking terrible. Yeah, it was only 30 minutes, so I was destroyed by that. That's why I was a little worried when you're like, Tara Reid dies, I was like, no, the point is to have the shitty actress in the entire movie. So, but overall, I guess, painful but not excruciating. I guess Grutz might have outdone me this time with the porn that he gave you.
God, yeah, no, and the fact that his was only an hour, but it was infinitely more painful, and the fact that, like, they stretched it to barely an hour by making random bits of it slow motion.
Yeah.
And there was at least a 20-minute segment of them actually doing mushrooms in the woods that had nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
See, this one at least has a drive. We're going to Burning Man, and we're going to fight demons.
At least there
like
was
that.
blood.
Yeah, there you go.
Blood and demons. And that's, why I've chosen something different to torture you with.
Are
you
we'll get
excited?
to that. Yeah, we'll get to that one when I watch that and my eyes stop bleeding and I can talk about it. So, but let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you all for listening. This Beautiful Disasters. There's a couple different ways you can reach out to us. We have our Facebook site, Instagram now. Also, check out all the podcasts, part of the GUI Network. Go to www. I don't know why I say that like I'm 40 years old.
That's okay.
The W's and the W's, but GUIpodcast.com. Go there. It's got all the podcasts. Also, while you're there, in the little right corner, there's a little link for Amazon. You click on the link, shop like you normally would. Throws back a few shekels our way. Under that link is TeePublic.
That's right, TeePublic, where you got a bunch of cool designs. If I'm not mistaken, Beautiful Disasters just dropped a Buckaroo Banzai-inspired design.
Yes.
Which I just picked up and I'm really stoked about.
So now I think we have a total of 3 designs? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that is correct. Because
So,
you've
but
got the
all
original.
on that site, all the podcasts, all of the designs, t-shirts, banners, pillows, all kinds of shit. So, but definitely check it out. And like I said, if you have some suggestions, go to our site and throw out some Schlock abuse suggestions, regular feature, B movies, stuff that you would like to hear us cover.
Do me a favor, follow us on Instagram. I know Hunter mentioned it, but it is beautiful_disasters_podcast. And just check out some of the stuff we're posting. We're going to try to post a little bit more regularly. I'd love some feedback on what you guys want to see, if there's any additional things. And it's another place that you can send us messages for Schlock abuse things. I would personally love to do some audience assigned Schlock abuses that maybe the 3 of us can watch together.
Oh, yes.
Or you can single one of us out and give us the torture we may or may not deserve. So, I guess...
Well, thank you for listening. I'm F.U. Hunter.
I'm Murphy.
Take it easy.
Hey guys, Scotty P here with Smash on your left. And we are the Geek Fathers. That's right, bringing all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent.
So welcome to our world.
And as always, join us
Or cry.
My name is Amy Bogard,
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
and we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as, what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIpodcast.com.